Yo, it's your boy Casual with the Silent A podcast. And man, we're back with another one and a quick one at that. Damn, sorry about that. A quick one at that. Hit that like, comment below, subscribe if you got the time. Appreciate that love. And for this, let's get straight into it. We got the likes of Tim Tszyu, July 19, 2025, suffered a tough loss, tough defeat to the likes of Sebastian Fundora, who, if you watch our other videos, we're deeming the El Monstro on top of the Towering Inferno, who has found himself. He is a problem in the 154-pound division. I mean, it's cut and clear. He finally figured out how to use his height and reach. Unfortunately, the likes of Tim Tszyu ran into this new resurgence of the El Monstro, this new Towering Inferno, him finding himself using his reach, using his power, and keeping himself out of harm's way. What does a man who suffered that kind of defeat? Now his official third loss. I still thought he won the first fight, but now his third loss. 3 out of his last 4 fights. Where does a man like Tim Tszyu go? In my opinion, it's simple. You get back to the drawing board. You get back in the gym. You lost to a style that's not suited for you. Tim Tszyu, and I really didn't realize it until we started walking further through the fight week. He's a small 154-pounder by attributes, reach, height. And obviously, when you step in a man like that, that's 6'4 plus, and the likes of the Tower Inferno, who can also make that weight, you're in for a long night, especially when he finally figured out his attributes. It was a tough loss, a tough defeat. And yes, he did not come out the corner. Tim Tszyu saw what was going on and realized it. You know, you have all the confidence and belief in yourself. He gave it his all through the first 7 rounds. And he looked across the ring and just saw what was going on, even when he was having success. He started to pick it up. But by then of picking it up, I think he really had given all he had as the smaller fighter to get to where he was and understood where he needed to go. He just didn't have it. And that is okay. We throw no fighter away. He stepped in there. He gave it his all for the first few rounds. And it just wasn't his night. He ran into a bad style matchup, something that he didn't think was going to happen, and it happened. So you get back to the drawing board, you get back in that room, you get back in that weight room, and you hit it hard. Because styles make fights. Some styles are just meant to beat you. And I think Sebastian Fundora, especially this version of him now, is just Tim Tszyu's kryptonite. There was a couple things that Tim Tszyu did wrong. You know, I think he gave up on smart pressure, defense, and more importantly, he did not invest in the body enough at all through that fight. When you're fighting a taller fighter, you got to chop that tree down. Same thing when you're dealing with a faster fighter, you chop him down. When the skill set and the attributes are much higher than compared to yourself, you got to even the playing field. And usually the evening of the playing field comes if you got power, which Tim Tszyu does have. He has decent power, but I mean knockout, concussive power. I'm talking Deontay Wilder. I'm talking Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm talking Canelo Alvarez. I'm talking these kind of guys that got pop that changes your life. I'm talking Ernie Shavers from my old heads. I'm talking George Foreman from my old heads. May he rest in peace. I'm talking Mike Tyson type power. That kind of power does even the playing field. But when you got decent power, what you do is the even attributes, even the guy who's got more speed than you that can move on his feet, or more importantly, in the case of Tim Tszyu, is taller than you, you chop him down and bring him to your level. He didn't do that. I think when he rewatches the tape, brother, just go back to the drawing board, go back to the weight room, go back to the gym and work on a few things and you're going to be okay, because Tim Tszyu is still a talent. We throw no fighter away. He's still a warrior, even though he did not come up off the stool. And many people are going to say he quit, just like Daniel Dynamite DeBar quit over the Usyk fight. He still showed up. He still fought. He still gave it his all. It just wasn't the night. He could have came back out and got his head knocked off. And then we would have been talking about, well, why did he do that? He smartly bowed and smartly understood where he was, which further pushes the needle of, I think he knows he needs to go back to the gym and work on a few things, add some things to that skill set, add some things to his corner so that this doesn't happen again. He can become champion again. I think he has a good shot to become champion again, 154-pound division. He needs to fight with smart pressure, like he did against Joey Spencer, although not the talent of Sebastian Fundora or Mortayev. But he showed that he doesn't have to go head first all the time. He's such a warrior. He's such a fighter that instinct kicks in, that he thinks he has to just keep fighting and pressing and throw blow for blow. Versus, to me, Tim Tszyu is actually the better skill set fighter between him and Sebastian Fundora. It's just Sebastian understood who he was as a fighter that night and used his advantages to his advantage. And Tim couldn't figure it out until it was too late. Go back to the drawing board, figure that out, fight smart, implement some defense. You got good enough power to fight in pockets, pressure smartly, and work these fighters down until eventually you can get back to the knockout ways. What's next for Tim Tszyu? It's obviously a tune-up. Maybe 2 of those to get that confidence back, right? Something what Daniel Dynamite Dubois had to do when his first Usyk loss. Get that confidence going back again. Get a trajectory going. Once that is satisfied and you got your corner stabilized and your understanding of strategies for multiple styles, then you might be ready to get back in there with another top contender in the 154-pound division, whoever that may be. We talked a little long on this, but the one thing I want to walk off and say is this. I know I know Tim Tszyu is a warrior. I know he signs up to take multiple fights. I know anytime the PBC or any other promoter calls him about a big fight, he's going to take it. My warning will be this. Please don't rush into another top contender fight right now. Work on what you need to work on. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're set. I know you're a true man, a true warrior, and you're going to step in and fight whoever it may be, especially if it's not Sebastian Fundora. I think we're done with that, whatever you want to call that feud right now. We're done with that. But don't just step in right away for another top contender until you work on the things we talked about. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure your confidence is surely all the way back. You leave no stone unturned. Do not let the business of boxing use you because you're a warrior and a fighter and try to put you in any big fight just for the name, just because they know you're going to bring an entertaining fight. I want to see you continue to grow. I want to see you champion again. And you can definitely do it, but don't rush back in unless you're truly ready and you've got the right corner, the right strategies, and the right mindset. Either way, man, it's your boy Casual Up with Sign A Podcast. Hit that like, comment below, subscribe if you got the time. Until the next time, peace.